And for more on the rebranding efforts of Malaysia Airlines, I'm joined by Henry Harteveldt. He's a travel industry analyst and founder of Atmosphere Research Group. Henry, thanks for being on the show. Good to have you with us tonight.
Thank you, Michelle.
Henry, Malaysia Airlines losses so far are quite staggering, 75% wider loss than expected, and the compensations from the crash and disappearance haven't even been finalized yet. How much more money do you think Malaysia Airlines may be on the hook for?
It could be hundreds of millions of US dollars, possibly even many hundreds more, up to $1 billion. It really just depends on what the airline will have to do. There may be rules of law that limit some of their liabilities. They may also be finding themselves at the wrong end of many, many lawsuits. We have to acknowledge something. Malaysia Airlines is on the operating table and the patient is bleeding badly. It needs heavy care to save it.
Well, Henry, the Malaysian government is hoping to provide that heavy care. It still thinks that the airline is a strategic asset, and it's planning to take it private through a stock buyback and restructure its operations in an attempt to restore confidence back in the business. Do you think this restructuring that is planned for Friday will help, and how will it do so?
A lot depends on what they announce that their plans to be. Malaysia had already begun some route restructuring ahead of MH370, for example, dropping their flights between Kuala Lumpur and Los Angeles in the United States, along with other money-losing routes. So we'll have to see what happens. Dropping unprofitable routes, reviewing and cutting unprofitable aircraft, trimming staff, trimming overhead will be important. But what the airline also has to do is rebuild confidence, first among the employees that are left at the airline, and second among the traveling public. That will require a new CEO and perhaps other new senior leadership as well.
Well, do you then see a complete change in management, in staff, in crew, in the planes? What is it going to take to create a new sense of confidence? It's not simply throwing on another name on the airplanes here.
No, in fact, changing the name of the airline would be the least effective thing to do, because we would all say its new name, formerly known as Malaysia Airlines. So changing the name is not going to solve the problem. You need a new CEO, you need somebody to run flight operations, the pilot group, maintenance, and you need to have transparency. The traveling public and the employees of the airline need to feel confident that Malaysia Airlines is well run, that it has a strategy, and that it will be a good airline to fly.
Well, you know, Henry, Malaysia Airlines is doing what it can in the meantime. It's slashing fares, it's giving good commissions to travel agents. But keep in mind that even before these two disasters, Malaysian Airlines had really been struggling with the low-cost airlines and against some of the more luxury airlines. In fact, it didn't even make a profit. The last time it made a profit was in 2010. So financially, what can the airline do to really get itself back on track?
Well, the airline is going to have to look and take some very, very severe changes to what it does. It will have to evaluate to what degree does it keep premium cabins like first class and business class. Does it need to become more of a no-frills carrier in economy to better compete with airlines like AirAsia? Excuse me, does it need to become a regional airline rather than long haul? Does it make sense for Malaysia to remain part of the One World Airline Alliance? It may decide that these things should be kept. It may decide these things should not be kept. What they will have to do is say, this is what's necessary to save the airline and return it to sustained profitability.
Well, Henry, we've seen a lot of consolidation in the airline space. Do you think perhaps a merger with another airline is the solution here, or being acquired by another airline?
I don't know that a merger will help, because Malaysia Airlines itself serves a unique role. It's critical to Malaysia's economic development. But the airline may eventually, once its financial problems have been stabilized, find itself the interest of investment by a foreign airline group, whether that is Etihad, for example, or somebody else. We'll see. What I can tell you is, having worked for several airlines that face similar challenges, none as severe as Malaysia, offering commissions and cutting fares alone won't bring passengers back to the airline.
Right. A lot more needs to be done. Thank you so much, Henry Harteveldt, travel industry analyst and founder of Atmosphere Research Group.